Okay, so welcome to the Hypto Cryptocurrency Review, and hopefully you can see my screen. And remember, some parts of this is advice and some parts of it is not advice. I'm not putting on PHG trades at the moment in... Oh, fuck. I opened the wrong room. Give me a second. Good morning and welcome. You will notice that Bitcoin broke 20,000 and last night. Did not follow through. Which is something we look for charting-wise as a sign of not going through with the job. So just give me 1 second, I've just got to set up one more screen. A disclaimer in the morning, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. So Bitcoin did not go on with the job last night. Bitcoin did not go on with the job last night. There's something very wrong with the data, the setup as well. Just 1 second. Bitcoin, new line. We see that Bitcoin did not go on the job. It broke up above 20,000 in some exchanges overnight. This is in Bitfinex. And the data I looked at this first thing this morning showed at above 20,000. Anyway, the important fact is it failed at this area, and we're seeing an ABC decline with a little bit of a triangle. Now, I was talking about maybe about 17,000, and there's also a possibility of about $16,500 for Bitcoin on the downside now, new line. What that means is if you're looking to get into Bitcoin, it's probably a good idea to wait a little bit for a decline to happen, a bit more of a decline, new line. In the longer run, the trend is still up, as I was showing you last night in the forecast. It's slipped outside of the pitchfork and failed to resume it. New line. Things will get better if it gets above $19,000. Well done, Sue. We'll hunt something down for you during the day. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of dramas with my dragon. One moment. Bitcoin Cash. One second, okay. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has been the main best beneficiary of this current boom, and it's broken up nicely, and I was giving you targets of $2,800. That still applies. Stop loss is at 2,200. And at the moment, this seems like it will test the 2,800 area. New line. BTG USD, Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Cash reached an agreement with BitPay for being involved with BitPay, and that seems to be what's driving Bitcoin Cash. Sorry, and Bitcoin Gold doesn't have that same agreement. It now has a double top, and effectively effectively, it's really still not as good as Bitcoin Cash. There is a bit of volume going into it. I'd really only expect towards $480 or $400. DSH USD. This is traveling along nicely. We were talking about $1,200 for this, and it's now arrived at it. If you are long DSH USD, I suggest taking some profit now or on rallies towards $1,180 and have a stop loss below $1,055, new line. EOS USD. This went as high as $12.50. And I'm thinking you have to protect yourself if it breaks back through $10.37. So that's where the stop loss should be. It's had a good run. A pull back down to $9 or $8 would be appropriate buying area now, new line. I think the froth and bubble should come off. This will be a buying opportunity rather than a selling opportunity again. IoT USD, IOTA. I was talking about this being strong if it broke through that triangle line, and it certainly proved correct. I was talking about, I think, $5.68 to be correct, which it's gone through a little bit. And it's gone through that by a little bit, but now I would suggest taking some profit as it's one of the later ones coming to the party. If it fails here, it may get a larger correction back down to about $2.50 for us to buy back into. LTC USD, Litecoin. Now, this was one of the dominant runners way back when, about 2 weeks ago, when it broke out and ran nicely. We've seen it now in a bit of a struggle street pattern. So protect yourself with a stop loss below $329 US, new line. A pullback down to $220 would be pretty appropriate, and even maybe $180 just to correct its very big run, new line. NEO USD. This has nearly doubled since I said it was interesting on a break above $46 and have a stop loss at $35. What I would suggest now is it's probably a good idea to look to sell rallies towards $78.33 and have a stop loss below $69. If that breaks, expect to pull back down to $56, new line. And what I'm wondering is whether with a lot of these smaller cryptos that the institutions have now been able to sell Bitcoin and hedge against them buying the smaller cap stocks or the smaller cap currencies. And that means that they can move in, and hedge funds love to sell something and buy something else. So I'm just wondering whether we're seeing the first vestiges of institutions coming in, new line. Bitcoin certainly has slowed down in terms of its volatility since the futures contracts have come in. And these massive runs in the lower tier currencies may be reflecting that, new line. POWR, Power Ledger. I talked about this last night in the forecast. I have nothing extra to add. I refer you to that forecast webinar. XRP USD, Ripple. What we are seeing with Ripple is basically a retest of the old high and a failure to go through. Probably this means we are in a bit more of a protracted triangle. And that it will go higher. Eventually, but at the moment it's going to be a little bit painful for being long. Zcash. We can see that it's been enjoying itself. It is starting a struggle street pattern, so a break below $550 or $520 more appropriately. We'll see it down back to $450, new line. This is struggling on its rally, and a break below $520 would see $450 on the downside for a retracement. XMR USD. Monero also struggling a little bit. This is also struggling a little bit, but it's certainly better than a few of the other ones. If it wants to come back down and have a retracement, $331 is the logical area. It is suffering from a little bit of high volume on the downside move, so don't be too excited about getting into this. XVG.ASX, Verge. This has also come out of that fourth wave pattern. We're now looking for a larger correction back down to about 35 cents, maybe 30 cents, the way this has gone. New line. This may have one more little confused pattern before a rally up towards 8.5 cents, but otherwise it's on a bit of borrowed time. The next dip will be a dip to buy, however. Okay, do we have any questions? I'll get moving on. I think we'll get moving on straight away with that, and we'll get back to the Rep Auger. Good morning, Rep Auger. A huge move spike. Okay, let's look at Rep. This is currently in a corrective phase, obviously. After its huge move up, it's pulling back down. You might expect support around about 75 to come in. If you are long, then it's a good idea to take some profits on rallies towards 97. And it will probably churn for a while, have another push higher, and then so you can buy down around 75 with a stop below 60 and work it from there. New line. This is in a fourth wave. It comes down to about $75, and it would be a buy down there with a stop loss below $60, and looking for one more push up towards about $120. Thank you very much. My data is not what my Dragon's not working, so a bit of confused. I shouldn't have had that champagne last night. Talk to you soon. This is the end of the cryptocurrency report, and we'll get on to foreign exchange and commodities and international indices. Next one. Just give me a second to get everything set up for it.